Hi there, everybody. We're live.
Good
Old
afternoon,
Josh and Jim,
everyone. Jim and Josh chatting some D&D on Jim and Josh
or Josh and
D&D
Jim.
chat with Jim and Josh. How's everyone doing today? How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing
Oh,
okay. I have to work tomorrow, but otherwise, I'm doing okay.
that'd be the suck.
Yeah,
You gonna be good for playing tonight?
yeah. It's normal time. I don't have to go in early or anything like that, which normally they would do.
First, for the records, apologies to all. I've had a shift in some of my work campaign schedules, so we were normally doing this regularly on Thursdays, so we'll be
Yes,
moving it to Fridays.
I need to update
Um,
my schedule.
Yeah, I got to update my schedule as well, so it may just be me and you bullshitting with each other for
Yeah,
an entertaining VOD later. But
yeah,
if you join us as it goes live, welcome. But
absolutely.
yeah, first and foremost, my apologies. The rescheduling is on my end, but we're hoping this is our home for the foreseeable future.
It kind of like works out better for me because I've been thinking that it's weird that we do our chats because like I play Kingdom Hearts, Gym Chat, Kingdom Hearts, and I'm like I'd rather just do the three and then like or Gym Chat and then the three. I think it fits better, but that's just
Okay.
yeah. So it works out for me honestly. It's not that big of a
Mhm.
deal.
Yeah, good deal. So yeah, we wanted to, man, we bounce around this way, that way, and the other way. Josh had brought up a good point. Let's talk about some intermediate level
Yes.
play. The quote unquote the gloves are off, the nerf is over, the bubble wrap has been removed from the environment. And what's it look like, or what should it look like, or
Yeah.
does it look different to you, or what does intermediate play look like to you, man?
Um, I think it's what you said, where it's like the gloves come off finally, where it's like, okay, you know how to play the game, you know how to play your characters. You're getting to a point where you're starting to like not just make like a well, I'm an elf wizard kind of person, so you're starting to kind of get more into the backgrounds and role play, you know. And so like you're playing for real now, you know, like your characters because we were just talking about this offline where it's like your characters could die now. I mean, some people I know play hardcore from the very start and it's just like, hey, you're level one, you just died, sorry, we roll a character. But I think for the
Yeah.
most part, we've gone to a we're gonna coddle you for a little bit so that you don't die immediately so that we can build a story together kind of
Mhm.
stuff, you know. And I think most current people who DM or play would agree with that. um but yeah, so now we're moving on to like our intermediate where it's like, okay, now gloves are off. In Jim's campaigns it's level 5. Hey, you can die now from your own stupidity. I'm not saving you anymore kind of stuff, you know. um and we were kind of talking about how like it's important at that stage for players to start realizing how to actually do their combat correctly. That's what we were on before we started this. Where it's like where you have to start working together better and not just we're all gonna scatter and hit one thing each and just damage it. You know,
Yes, and
it's like more
I
like
mean
synergizing better.
that's the expectation.
Yeah.
That is certainly the expectation, and and that becomes kind of an interesting paradigm and discussion as far as, on one hand, if you're playing lethally and killing characters the way they should be killing, it's even harder to gain synergy because you're rolling a new character on a repeated basis. If you are the TPK, I let the dice fall where they are, and if a character dies, so be it. And then you're still bitching 9 characters deep on 5 players that they have no synergy. They're not taking the game seriously.
That.
I don't know why they have to make a polymorph chair for the 5th character, because you killed the first 4 that they spent time making stories for, and you didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree
So
with that.
there's that extreme, and I'm not saying that's a regular. I kind of lean into that's the one extreme over there. And the other extreme, I've kind of been on the other extreme, the Mary Sue. We're here for the story. We're here to enjoy the time together. You care about your character, you experience the world through your character, so I need to kind of honor that commitment. And unless it's absolutely, unassuredly deserved and unpreventable, I don't want to kill a character. And that's the other extreme.
Yeah.
And that teaches just as many bad habits as this extreme.
Yeah.
Because if you're killing them constantly, fuck it, I'm just gonna try something new, something different. You do that, don't work. So the optimized character didn't work.
I mean, yeah, there's no way I wouldn't start making weird shit if I was getting killed constantly, especially if they're gonna let me bring a new character in at level 10. I'm taking 10 different fucking like classes on this character.
Exactly. So the two extremes breed the same breakdown in gameplay. if you're never facing threats of death, you can play like a dumbass and keep playing like a dumbass because you're not going to die. You don't get any better. If you're playing an absolute extreme, mathematically proficient and exacting detail and killing people when they should die, they're not going to get any better because now exactly either everyone's starting at level 1 over and over again, or you're starting at level 5 with a completely different character build, and now you get killed at level 7. Oh shit, I guess I'll play a pally at 7, and shit, I guess I'll try a fucking sorcerer monk bard combo at 9, 3-3-3. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna get any better.
Oh, I would absolutely use that as an opportunity just to try shit. Just like, let's see what happens if I do this. I'm gonna play a
Well,
fighter
shit.
warlock multi-class.
Well, I mean, I look for, and I'm a bad example. I've always admitted readily on camera and to friends and play groups that I'm not a good player for reasons. And the campaign that I'm playing in, I started out with a fun, silly-go-lucky character that was so badly optimized, just there for support, and it was kind of made impossible to play. So I came out with a little bit more purely meta support type of a build. You know, the group is invulnerable. I can't say invulnerable, but we're fucking vulnerable bubbles.
Yeah,
But no, point being, he's very sturdy, he's very, durable, and that makes the group durable. But it's gotten where he's untenable, so I've gone to the other fine. All right, Bugbear, 15-foot reach with a glaive, Polearm Master Sentinel, Battle Master, let's go. Fuck it.
yeah.
I don't care about my story. I'm just here to cause carnage and damage. And that's not helping the group. I'm actually making the group worse each step.
It can still be a fun character to play though, regardless.
Oh, I'm gonna have a damn good time if I have to play him. Absolutely. But so the same kind of a thing when you're playing how your character should play. Party exchanges are gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm sick of you stealing my shit. I'm quitting. Are you gonna quit the campaign? Not just roll a new character. He would have left. I'll come back with another asshole. Fuck. Okay. That's part of mid-level play, though.
Yeah, to an extent, I think that's completely fair. I think it is completely fair for you to go, look, my guy doesn't get along with the group. Why would he continue to party up with you guys? You're everything that he's not. Clearly, I made a mixed matched character. I'm not saying that that's what you did, just in general.
No.
But yeah,
reasons, dude.
Yeah, stuff happens.
Someone gets a new job and has to move, and their character leaves, and then the new person that comes in, whatever.
Yeah,
that's part of intermediate play, even more so than beginning play. Because if you're swapping players and characters every day at level 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. Exactly, it doesn't matter. Level 5, I'd say level 5 to 10. I call it intermediate.
Yeah, exactly. I would as well.
So
and if you're playing within those levels and your characters have been together for a while, you've built a repertoire with your party. As far as story is concerned. So bringing in another person is difficult as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I guess that's a good first step in intermediate play is party dynamic.
Yes.
While it can still change and flip flop, it should be established by this point in your group. Your tactics for your group, communication methods. You should know what to expect from each other. By this point, because high level play is predicated on the fact that you're this well oiled, super badass superhero team. SEAL Team 6 in D&D terms coming in to wreck ass, but if you don't know, if SEAL Team 6 never figured out what meant before they try to do it, homie does this and everyone stands up and goes, what the hell are you doing? Gobbity-goo to you too, So, that's one of those things that you're hoping that now that beginning level play is done, we know the game. We know the rules. We're starting to understand how our character works. We're starting to understand our own combos.
Yeah,
and we may have learned
how I was gonna say you're starting to understand how other people's characters work as well. Like that's a big part of it.
To me, that's kind of the defining step to where a group has hit intermediate play. They recognize each other's abilities and know how to plan for what they're going to do to complement or build off of your teammates. But one thing that kind of gets left out in the dark is why are we waiting till we're round 3 of combat? Why are you guys waiting till you're in round 3 of combat to start trying to figure out and discuss a tactical situation of a everyday thing that you could have talked about at any point prior to the fight starting and had a night while we're on the wagon? Hey guys, let's discuss combat tactics.
Yeah. I fully agree with you, and that's
Yeah.
something that I've said to you recently, where it's like I feel like we don't communicate enough while we're in combat, even not to mention beforehand, but like while we're in combat, we don't communicate enough. Where we could just go, "Hey, fireball," something similar like that, and we can move to get people out of the
Yeah.
way and stuff like that. Like we don't even do that, and that's something I really feel like me as a player, I need to work on doing that kind of stuff. And I
Yeah.
yeah, I fully agree with you.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's part of the game.
And
That, and I know the why was rhetorical and accusatory, but it's a valid thing,
no, I agree.
you know. So I mean, the and you're 100% right. DM, unless your DM is like, and there have been times that, to be fair, I've said, all right, man, come on, 6 second turn, guys. You can't be having that much of a conversation in the middle of combat.
Yeah,
But you should, as a dungeon master, at least allow them for the, because we're not in a real situation. Everyone's not acting simultaneously where you can shove your guy and point over there where you're hitting this guy. You got to use your words. You got to allow, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. Allow reasonable time. But when it turns into a, no, go
full
look at this
conversation.
spell, no, 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 don't use that one. Don't use this one. All right, man.
Yeah.
Maybe allow that in low level play, but at mid
Yeah,
level play, that shouldn't be happening in a combat.
yeah, I agree. I agree. At low level, it's perfectly fine for you to go, "Hey, I know you don't know how to play your character. Here's some stuff. If you didn't know, you can do. You can do this kind of stuff." Like,
Don't forget your sneak attack damage.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, that's
M-
perfectly fine.
Move closer. Move. Now last night was a perfect example. I had some experienced players playing with some brand new guys, and we had two rogues and we had a fighter, two rogues, a wizard, a monk, and a cleric druid. He started out as a cleric. He'll be a druid soon. 6-person group, decent balance.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was a situation where both rogues were experienced players, telling the other guys, no, make sure to stay close to him. That way, when I shoot my bow attack, so I can get my sneak attack because you're within 5 feet of him. Help make sure I'm keeping my sneak attack damage in. So I didn't mind that, but at the same time, by level 5, it's like, oh wait, no, can I reverse my move because I forgot about his sneak attack? If you do that as a player, I'm cool with that. But if you do that because the rogue asked that, I might be like, no, man, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Play that
That's
out.
DM discretion. Are you playing for tactical accuracy, or are you playing for storytelling?
I mean,
If
yeah.
you're playing a storytelling game, you have a little more flexibility.
I mean, and let's not pretend like there aren't times where like even a well-oiled machine breaks down. There are times where you do stuff and you're like, "Oh fuck, I just completely forgot about it," and that's fine to let that play out.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like for the person to go, "Oh hell, I forgot my rogue is doing arrows this time and not daggers, and I've moved 50 feet away from my target now. Whoopsie doo."
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens.
And there's going to be times that it's like, oh, hey, DM, I forgot that I could do this, this, and this. So, and use your discretion on that. The retroactive damage type shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to add my ABC on that last hit. Do you mind if I do it? You at low levels, yeah, okay. Mid level, tough shit.
No, I agree.
My job is to remember all your stuff.
I agree. The only time that I could say, a caveat to that would be, okay, you just hit level 6, you got a new thing and you're not remembering it just yet, kind of stuff. I could be okay with that, where it's like you just got
Nope.
this thing this level.
You're going to get new things every 2 levels from the start of your character to the end of your
Yeah,
character. What point do I finally absolve you of knowing your character?
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'm just
So
I'm just saying
that's why I
that
say
like
5
I
or
could
6.
yeah, but I'm just saying if
And,
somebody forgot something
guys,
because
it
they
ain't
just
about
forgot about worrying about
knowing.
it.
Yeah, it ain't about knowing everything about your character, but you picked that ability.
Yeah,
I didn't foster it upon you. If you want to use it, that's great. Just make sure that you're aware of it. I guess that's all I'm
yeah.
trying to say.
I
It's certainly not about memorization, but in combat, you roll initiative. Those guys are sitting there rolling their eyes, going, "Oh, this combat's taking fucking forever." Oh, it's my turn. Oh, let me see. No, fuck you. That's why it's taking forever, dude.
I'm gonna say two
You know?
things. I'm gonna say two things on this. One, to an extent, I think that it is a DM's responsibility to know their players' characters, right? What their abilities are. To an extent, I
Yeah.
don't think you should have to know everything they can do. But thing number two is it is also not the DM's responsibility to remind you to use your abilities.
That was more what I think.
Yes,
That's good clarification. Yeah,
yes,
you should know what your characters can and can't do, or at least where to look and have it on tap if you don't want to memorize all of their stuff on top of the 342 monsters and 68 NPCs that you got to do. But definitely make sure you got an extra tab open, or you got your player's handbook on the side opened up to spells, so you're not wasting the group's time looking shit up as well. Because
yeah,
that's one of the downsides of being a DM. As we always joke, it's like players can't even remember their own stuff, but they want to go DM, and it's like, have fun.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But no, I agree. Excuse me.
But at the same time, I do want to back off that statement. Don't let that discourage you. It can be done through repetition.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to take notes. Everyone's going to have different memory cues, different ways of retaining information. It's doubly important for you as a DM at the intermediate level to make sure that you've got your system established. This is mechanics notwithstanding. Whether you're using Excel spreadsheets, whether you're using spiral notebooks, whether you're using index cards, and the one caveat expectation is the Mr. I don't prep school. I use random decisions, and then keep on going and have fun, and God bless you in your game, man.
So this is
the
actually
free spirit to be able to do that. I'm kind of jealous of.
So this is something I've actually been discussing with Sam because I was like I'm trying to figure out a way, because you're right, it's really difficult to stream while you DM something. So I was like, I need at least one more screen. So I've been thinking about taking a lot of my notes and shit, because she has a tablet. I'm gonna put them all on a tablet and just be like, okay, here's all of my notes that I need for everything. I think that'd be like super beneficial to me.
Yeah,
because I can't figure out like how I'm gonna do. Okay, well, I need this thing up and this thing up and this thing up. Well, and I need it to record this specific screen and all of these people. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, and I can't do it. Maybe if I figured out if I had 3 monitors, I could do an okay stream. If I had 4 monitors, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I am on it
But
too.
now I was like, I'm in the fucking bat cave of monitors and shit, so I can try to stream D&D. Really?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, I've got a Stream Deck, so I've been thinking about maybe I can figure out how to use it like in association, so I can do stuff without having to control another screen, because I have things I can just push buttons and be like, it does a thing for me.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to maybe figure that out. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, well, that's part of that's intermediate play too.
I mean, yeah,
because you didn't give a shit about being a streamer when you first started running D&D. You didn't give a shit, and this is the escalation of tools for your campaign as well. This is all good stuff. Yeah. We may not be talking character development and all that. Well, there's so much. It's a broad topic. Your resources are the need for resources will increase at intermediate play as well.
It absolutely will, because
whether it's larger maps, a different style of presenting your combat, even theater of mind, this is now where you're rolling out the grid paper and the dry erase markers, or this is where you finally bite the bullet and start running Roll20, because you need to be able to see the area of effect for all the spells and the positioning and even y'all. I'm back in the day, brother. But back in the day, we dropped the freaking piece of graph paper on the table, draw it out, and X and O it, so we could be sure that you were or were not in the radius of that fireball that I was about to drop on you.
Yep.
So level 5 is fireball spell level. Level 5 is the kind of ostensibly the beginning of mid-level play, right? So the need for resources and preparation is increasing as well, assuming you're playing into that way. Even if you're a zero prep DM, your toolbox, the size of your toolbox and breadth of your toolbox is going to have to start increasing as well.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I have both giant grid paper. I also have one of those dry erase boards like that you can write stuff on. Yeah, I have so many fucking minis just for stupid things. I've not painted at all, because I'm like, it's too much. I'm like, oof, it's too much.
Yeah, because I mean, you're going from goblins and wolves and bugbears and zombies and skeletons to neo-oitugs and peritons and harpies. You're now into 3-dimensional combat a lot more often. You're now using altitude, verticality, and guess what? A squared plus B squared equals C squared is a real thing that you're gonna have to use in D&D now at intermediate levels if you weren't doing it at lower levels.
Yes, absolutely, because people are gonna be flying. But
all fucking day.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh man, I lost what I was gonna say about that because of the flying thing. Oh no, man. What were we just talking about right before that? Oh man, it's gone now. It's completely gone out of my head.
Preparation stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell it was. There's something
You
else.
were saying about the
Oh,
large
okay,
paper and all that good stuff.
okay. I remember what it was now. Okay, this is just like a little tip for people if you're doing home games and you're like, I need a bunch of minis for something, and you don't want to pay a lot of it. You can find tubes of like those really shitty, like, oh, this is a tube of zombies, and it's like
Yep.
$4, and it's like 100 fucking zombie figures, like 100%.
You know, those of us my age, Army Men. Y'all remember Army
And
Men?
that's kind
Army
of how
Men
they
make
are.
perfect fodder minis, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
shit, yeah. Don't you ain't got y'all don't have to go spend like $8.99 on every fucking mini off Hero Forge, man.
yeah, absolutely.
Because once your players see the first one and go, "Oh, that's cool," at that point they're just targets. No one is staring at your minis in awe. They go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is it my turn? I was lost in the art of the minis yet again." You know,
Yeah,
so don't. I
this
mean,
isn't
I don't want to
Warhammer.
dissuade you from the hype. Yeah, if you have fun doing that, by all means do it.
Yeah,
But yeah, don't feel like that's not the kind of resource investment I'm talking about as far as dollars and cents. Thank you. Good point, Josh.
yes,
Um, but more the toolbox as far as a lot more variety in monsters. From a DM standpoint, we're leaning a little bit more into mechanics here and note taking as well. Make sure if you're not using D&D Beyond, I know you might be anti Hasbro, Screw Wizards, etc. Respect you for that, but it's really nice to have a hyperlink on D&D Beyond that reminds me what poisoned versus frightened versus what and whatever does.
yeah.
Certainly you can memorize it, and I got them all
Oh,
memorized, but it's really nice to be able to settle an argument with an instantaneous reference.
yes, and that being said, you can do all of that on Roll20 if you don't want to support Hasbro.
Yeah.
You can buy the books
You
over
can do
there, and it'll do the same thing. Like it'll
yeah.
hyperlink and stuff, and roll dice there too if you want to.
Mhm.
But yeah, it is an option.
But yeah, whatever background you want to use, whatever toolbox you want to use, it's going to increase now because you've decided you want to keep playing.
Yes,
You and your group have made it to 5th level, and you want to go. This is a fun game. Where do these lives of these characters go? So your technical knowledge as players and DMs should both have to increase.
yeah,
They're increasing.
and
You know.
and for DMs, like now your stories are also increasing in scope as well, right?
Hmm.
'Cause so you're going from, hey, there's a bunch of goblins attacking a camp, to, well, now we're dealing with settlements and villages, and like you're having to save like whole things, and like or you're owning property now so that you can like set out and to do more stuff. You might be getting more involved with like kings and queens and stuff like that. Like it's gonna like increase in scope, and you're gonna go from like small time nothings to mid level bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, a level 5 fighter is a captain of the guard.
yeah,
You know. Now, uh, caveat obviously, if your players are murder hobos, a level 5, a captain of the guard is a level 15 fighter to keep them from being stupid. But typically, in the hierarchy of power, as it were, a veteran is equivalent to a level 5 fighter. A veteran is typically a captain of the guard. So, ostensibly, that's your power scale. So, 5th level in the scheme of level 1 to 20 doesn't seem big because it's not in the scheme of 20, but 5th level in the scheme of of society environment is upper class as far as skill level goes.
yeah.
You know,
Uh,
not
Sorry.
class. That's a bad term, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about this thing I saw Brendan Lee Mulligan talk about, where he's anti experience, like play, like do milestone, not XP, and
Oh yeah,
he's like talking about like from a king's point of view. It's like these guys met at a tavern a month ago, and now they're as strong as all of my generals. Like,
exactly right. You know, no, and that's the flip side of that is if it's truly XP based and every farmer's like level 17, man. How's that dude at level 17? He kills 50 pigs a day, 110 chickens a day, and that's not counting the wolves and giant rats and vultures that he's got to go fight every day. Homie making more experience a day on the farm.
yeah, 100%.
So that, it's XP. It was what it was back in the day. It was a necessary thing to quantify and limit player growth from back in yon old days of D&D.
Yeah,
But that was also yon old days at D&D where you chuckled when the finger of God came out and the pillar of lightning smashed you because you made an a choice outside of your alignment, and your character ceased to exist, and everyone laughed and said you had that coming. You pulled up your next character.
It's like, oh man,
Different
shit.
environments, different game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or oh shit, I got hit by a fucking ghost and I lost a level. Like,
Spectre was a level, Ghost was 40 years
okay,
of
okay,
aging.
yes.
10 to 40 years of aging. Yeah, I
And
guess
I'm
after
not
that
an elf, so
adventure,
now I'm dead. Um,
I was 34 before the start of that encounter. I'm now 74. I think it's time for me to retire, you know? 2 touches, beep, beep, character goes home.
yep.
Different game, different game. Still D&D, but, so intermediate plays is now accounting for a lot of that crossover where we joke about old school versus new school. Now you're dabbling into old school a little bit because ghosts have an aging ability still.
Yeah.
Are you paying attention to your player's age? You're going to do something about that, I mean, there's no mechanism as in the DM's guide for aging your character 90 years in a combat, but it can certainly happen around level 6 or 7 in a lot of situations. How are you going to educate that at your table?
And majority of races are done by the time they're 80. Like turtles are like really young, so like you can't.
80.
Yeah, if you get, he's done.
You hit a
Like,
turtle with a 40-pointer, he's
yeah,
dead.
he's dead. Yeah,
He withers away into dust and his shell clatters on the ground and everyone's sad.
absolutely. But yeah,
Oh,
so like there's
God.
certain races that like
Oh,
have,
that would be so horrifying to do for a group.
be really hardcore messed up. Well, now you know what you can do to somebody just to freak a party out. Village of turtles.
Leo! Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Ghosts. Not like this.
But I'm just thinking about like you walk upon a village of turtles that are all being haunted by ghosts, and it's just like you just see
Oh,
one walk
man.
up and just powder, and it's just like, oh fuck! It's just like everybody.
His shell clatters around and spins on his back for a second and stops.
I think I would immediately leave. Like I wouldn't even attempt to fight that thing. I'd be like, nah, did you just see that shit?
Yeah, wrong town. We're out. You said this was sandbox. You said we could go west. We're going west. Fuck this place.
Just turn that man to dust. I'm not about that life. This ghost have
Thanos, is that
disintegrate.
you?
These ghosts never disintegrate.
No shit, dude. That'd be hardcore, right?
Oh man.
Spooky, funny.
So and the disintegrate thing made me think about this. Towards high level play, you might experience some conflict in your parties as well as they've run through stuff.
Mhm.
You might start seeing like people in your party having opposite ideals as they've gone throughout the campaign. They might have been really close at the start, but like as they've adventured, they might have changed. You know,
Yeah,
and so
yeah, absolutely.
now it could be like, hey, well, I don't agree with this thief stealing stuff anymore. I had to change a heart in that last town or 6 towns ago. Whatever.
Mm.
After I got all my shit stolen from me, and I'm like, man, stealing's really bad. you know,
Yeah,
and that can cause a
that's
fight.
well,
I don't I
I
don't
mean,
agree with player PvP unless like it's like a downtime thing where they're just like, hey, you want to wrestle kind of stuff, but like I don't
sparring.
yeah, I don't agree with like legitimately like, hey, we're gonna PvP right here and I'm gonna kill you. Shit, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of its own separate discussion, but that's
Yeah.
certainly something that if you allowed hijinks in PvP in your campaign at the start of it as your session 0, level 1, 2, 3, that now becomes possibly lethal and very disruptive with the
Yeah.
advent of stuff that you get in the mid levels. Your wizard now gets to say, "Oh yeah, I want to fight whole person. Oh, that's right. With a wisdom of 10, that means you're paralyzed, and I'm gonna stab you to death for the next hour for all the bullying that you gave me the last 5 level." Are you prepared for that? Because that's the escalation of the PvP that happens at the mid tier.
Yeah.
It becomes lethal and it becomes instantaneous, and a lot of control can be taken away from your other player. Now, DMs, we're always kind of chided, don't take agency from your players. So if you're operating in a PvP environment, your players are now taking agency from each other.
Yeah.
And there is going to be some butt hurt.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a great point to bring up. The interplayer dynamics are going to change. Mechanically, there's a lot more consequence for roughhousing. Kind of like if you're a parent and you didn't really care much when your kids were wrestling and punching when they were 4 or 5, as long as no one bonked their head on the wall or the table, this just being kids. When they're 12 and 13, you know there's a chance of a broken rib, a busted collarbone, a concussion, so you don't let them fight anymore.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same thing you might want to look at as a DM, because we're going to go from kissing a boo-boo to, I ain't paying to res him. He had that coming. He picked the fight that he didn't need coming. Oh, why did you disintegrate it? We can't even res him.
Yeah. And that's what made me think about that, was because I ran a campaign where a player disintegrated another player. That's what made me think about that.
Yep.
And I should have said no before he ever even did it. Like, I really should have. That's one of those live and learn situations.
So yeah, the inter-party dynamic, and double this down. We're talking intermediate play from just straight up now. Now, I think what Josh is referring to, if you don't mind me kind of
Yeah.
running it in a parallel direction, is story building, background. The player's ownership of the story, the player's place in the world is getting more well defined, which is double down on what you're saying. Because now they should be starting to dig their heels as they learn these ideals, as they get into, no, I know what it means to be a paladin of devotion, and I have not been devoted to my oath with thou dastardly whoremongering bard thief rogue bard rogue monk combo over there, and that can be a thing.
100%.
So how are you ready to manage that kind of stuff? How does that affect your long-term, mid-term story? This is where you need to be able to start tying in, and another thing from a DM alongside of that, where it can actually raise conflicts like what you're talking about, is if you're the DM that's been devoted to weaving the backstories of your characters in, this is where the threads should start popping up. The long lost sister that was taken by the slavers, who's a rumor of her citing that he heard in a tavern that the slaver ship of this nation was seen, blah, blah, blah. I need to go find my sister. Yeah, but we're supposed to go over here and raid that castle. Oh man, but so and I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying you got to be careful how you start seeding these little personal threads, because that's literally pulling that person in that direction. So if the party gets split up because you put too much personal story into it, you got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not to like dissuade people from interweaving stuff, or like
no, not at all.
To put personal story, but yes,
pay attention for it.
Yes,
pay attention to how it works with each other's, because it's really I don't want to say it's really hard. It's a challenge to pay attention to building your world and including your player's story in a satisfying way. But now combining that with 5 stories that may be going in different directions because the way the player wrote it. Not because I made it that way. That's just the player's decision on their backstory. So if they're starting to expect payout of the backstory, you got to be cautious maybe when you introduce this thread or how you introduce that thread to not drive the party apart.
Yeah. And honestly,
or to minimize the value of any story.
And honestly, you could even use it to drive the party forward, even.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh well, your sister's actually to the north, which is where you guys happen to need to be going anyway.
Lucky me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the cool thing: this is me talking from my world building style of running a campaign. Typically at level 5, level 6, my players are still adventurers. They really have no clue what they're getting into yet. So this is where I've hopefully have seeded some small stuff in levels 1, level 2, level 3 that was, when you're a level 1 guy, that you're looking for the fucking kobold coming at you, you're not thinking big picture. So all of a sudden, if you're running a living world thing, this is the point where all the little nuggets that you've been planning need to start making sense to help tell your story.
I'll give you a lot of credit, Jim. You're actually very good at doing shit like that. Like there are so many times where we'll be doing something where it'll finally dawn on me, and I'll be like, "Oh!"
I love those moments. I love, that's for me. That's how I build. That's how I set the campaign. That's part of agency. If you guys. And it's like I'm just like talking fishing. Yeah, if you just grab that ever slightest nibble early on, yeah, I'll take you to the same place as the big ass hook sitting there 5 levels later. But it's just supposed to be that little bit of nugget to go, oh, this world's kind of cool. And then you're like, oh,
100%, 100%.
But that's what I mean. At intermediate levels is where the aha moments should start showing up. And also at the intermediate levels, this is where you got to plan from a DM to you're going to start losing control of the rate of your story unless you purposefully delay, because now they're starting to take the pieces and threads and they may start grabbing the conclusion before they're ready for it or you're ready for it.
Yeah.
That's the next part of the intermediate step of the story building. So I mean, this is a good subject, dudes. There's a ton of shit to go in this. We may be able to talk about this for the next 8 months. I'm kidding.
No, this is really good stuff. This is kind of what I was talking about, where it's because like we'd already gone over like beginner kind of stuff, and it's kind
Yeah.
of like where how do you take yourself forward now that you know how to play the game, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And guys,
this
if
is
you're
really good
lurking
stuff.
on the either side of the channels, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Feel free to pop in and questions, comments, anything like that. We appreciate you being here. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I was just saying and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this kind of stuff. It's kind of like this is like a really good topic because it's like Advanced Play is a totally different fucking game as well. Like, so we won't get into any of that stuff because we've never played high enough to get to Advanced Play.
Well, advanced play is more art than science.
I would, yeah, because at that point in time, it's like, what do you do to a level 20 party that are essentially demigods, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's its subject in and of itself for its own thing. I've done the math and run the simulated encounters and all that kind of stuff, and you got to go so crazy with that's its own thing. We'll
Yeah.
worry about advanced play later. And here's the flip side. Let's be honest. This is where most people spend their time is in the intermediate play area anyway.
Yeah.
Even your shit, all but what, 2 of the Wizards WOTC, the Hasbro printed, stop
12.
before 12, maybe
Yeah.
15, and then you got 1 or 2 that go to 20.
Yeah.
So I mean, mid-level play for me in my brain is 5 to 10, 5 to 12.
Yeah.
Which is the end of most campaigns anyways. So is maybe we're going to low-level play to high-level play?
Well, I do think that there's still a lot of nuance that you can achieve within these levels that would take you further. Um, more synergy is always a good idea, and the more that you play the game, the more that you find out how everything works in the game.
Yeah.
To a point where it's
But
like, hey, if you're playing this class and I'm playing this class, and I already know that we can combo in this way, kind of stuff. Like it.
And for the record, it's not a unique thing.
No.
It's been a problem for all the editions except for BECME. I think BECME is the only system that really handled high-level play very well because it was staged out and balanced for each section of play. Each level of BECME focused on some different facet of the gameplay. So in addition to growing in levels and in powers, for example, basic level 1 to 3, you're just trying to survive the keep on the Borderlands or the Palace of the Silver Princess intact. Levels 5 to 10, you're going to, or 4 to 9, you're going out to the Isle of the Dread or against the Desert Nomad. You're learning about travel and survival in the outer world. You're now getting into outside the world. Level 10 to 15 was Companion. You're now a lord or a lady or a master or something. You're establishing a hold. If you haven't been doing role play in your campaign, you're doing it now. Because you're running a kingdom, you're treating with this and that, and the high level stuff is high level. The dragon force is on the horizon, and you ride out to lead your forces to end it. And then master is you've transcended local kind of a stuff into a world, a circle of the 8 type of a thing for master level.
Yeah.
And then immortal play was all about ascending from circle of the 8 level to becoming a god and retiring your character. So when you hit immortal level, your character you won the game. BECME was probably one of the best as far as balance for each full high level, but it was a different style focus for each phase.
Could you imagine how good that would have felt though to get a character from level 1 to max
35?
level? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you would have felt like a god at that point in time because you would have had to have accomplished so much and lived through so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I mean, now by proxy, you have AD&D Second Edition AD&D. There was a handful of modules that were printed for high level play, like 20 plus. Most of your cool shit, Tomb of Horrors 10-14.
Yeah.
Against the Queen of the Demon Web Pits 9-15. Lost Caverns of Soth Cant 8-10. Dara's Dune 10-12. We see a trend here. Even in the Grandmaster 1E, 2E, 12-15 was typically the end of the published modules, because even then they realized we cannot predict or control what high-level groups are going to do. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, the one module I would say was H4 Throne of Bloodstone that goes to 100.
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine the kind of
And-
nonsense that would be in that book.
It's obnoxious. It's just, and I mean, as a DM, I giggle because I remember buying it as a kid. I never got to play that one through. We played the first three. I bought that one. We never ended up playing that one because we were going into Dragonlance at that point. But yeah, I was like,
Fair
oh,
enough.
they get to fight 8 adult red dragons, and then the very next room they fight Orcus's pet Tarasque, whatever you want to say, however you say it over your.
Tarrasque.
Yeah, they're dead. I win. This is awesome. But it was that kind of craziness,
That's
dude.
ridiculous. I could not
So
imagine
that's
like
so-
current day D&D for them to go fight 8 red dragons. I could not imagine them doing
Dude.
that shit like current day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a here nor there. What's up, kitty cat? Oh, he's not on y'all's camera. Oh, he murmured me. Wow. But I mean, difficulty notwithstanding, yeah, high level play is its own beast. We're gonna spend most of our time in the 5 to 10 level bracket,
Yeah,
5 to
absolutely.
12 level bracket. Now let me ask you this: is intermediate play, in your opinion, based on level of character or player knowledge?
I would say player knowledge more than character level. Yeah. I would say that
Okay.
you can do intermediate play at lower levels as well. Like without, I mean, from a DM perspective, you can do the same thing because now you know more about how to like develop your world now. Even if it's at lower
Okay.
levels, like and you're restarting over and you're now an intermediate DM, it's like, okay, well now I know that I need to establish this, and that within this world because I know that it's going to come up later on, kind of stuff.
Okay. So in a roundabout way, we're a couple different layers of the concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. As a DM, we can take the knowledge that we've gained as a beginning DM in our next campaign, instill a lot of the mistakes that we made, instill a lot of the knowledge from those mistakes into the beginning of our campaign. It's still beginner for the player, but you're now working in an intermediate level. You're working on presenting the environment as a living world. You're working on dangling plot hooks and connections in obvious sight that are not MacGuffin, but obvious later in life. Well, it made too much sense. Sometimes, what is it, Occam's razor? Sometimes the truth is the shortest path, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good point. Good point.
And that's to say the same thing for players too. Like you can have an intermediate player make a level 1 character, and it's like, okay, well now I know like that this doesn't work as a player, this doesn't work as a player. And now I want to go deeper into my backstory because now I've role played more. Now I feel more confident in doing this kind of stuff. Let me take my character creation to the next level as well, just as far as like who they are, because
Yeah.
like beginner play might just be like I'm a fighter, and then like your intermediate play might be like, yeah, I'm a fighter, but my true passion is actually cooking, and like you can start building that kind of stuff out.
Yeah. And that's part of the world building expectations you need to decrease as well. Because if your player brings something to the table that says, I want to cook, dinner time at least once in a while should be a thing.
Yeah.
You need to give them that occasional moment to where, hey, can we cut a chunk off of that owlbear? I know it's not a bear, but I got a decent recipe for bear short ribs, and let them have fun with that moment, dude.
Yeah.
Those are
Do it for
memories
cooking
that they're
feet
gonna remember.
even.
They're gonna remember making braised owlbear ribs more. They're gonna remember killing the fucking owlbear. Straight up. They're gonna kill a dozen owlbears over the course of their career, but the one time where they stop, yeah, you remember that one time you made them badass ribs? That was good. We should go owlbear hunting. You're allowing players to make their own little story beats, man, and lo and behold, you get to delay your big plot 1 or 2 more episodes later as they go traversing across the world to find an owlbear because they really want some fucking ribs, yo.
100%.
And those are things you want to encourage, in my opinion, you want to encourage as a DM. Letting players get off the beaten path because they want to have something that fills in their character. You can reel them right back in. Going on an owlbear hunt for a session, for a bad example, or You know what? My character's been dour and moody for the last 3 or 4 sessions. Just so you guys know, why I miss my uncle used to take me fishing, man, and it's been a long time. I've been saying, let's take homie fishing,
Yeah.
and you get to do a skill challenge that day and have a beach episode or something like that. This is part of the intermediate experience that you hopefully you're a little bit more prepared to play into. You're starting to learn it's not all about going in and killing the goblins and collecting all the money and the short swords and going to the next cave. It's you're living your characters a little bit more
Yeah,
now.
and sometimes it's the little personal moments that matter the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that there are more moments in our campaign that I remember as character moments than I remember as combat moments. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it should be because the combat is what you're doing to build the story, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you guys without a doubt remember every instance in detail of the dragon stomping on y'all's skulls, but
Yeah.
that's not something you want to brag about. That's a bad memory.
I mean, I think the Hydra is a pretty cool one that we fought as well.
Yeah.
The Mecha Hydra.
Yeah, Mecha Hydra. But at the end of the day, it was an encounter that stands out among many.
Yeah.
Is why it's memorable. But the character building moments, the moments around the fire, those kind of things, yeah, that's what I hope are memorable about the campaign because those are the ones that you guys are building.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of intermediate play is doing that kind of stuff. You get to build. It's not do the quest. Here's the next hook. Go do the next thing. It's no, man. We're telling a story together now. We're having an adventure together. It's not just a quest anymore. It's an adventure.
Why do you want me to say pickle?
Pickle.
Say it. What's up, Saf?
Sure.
He's coming in. He's coming in to break up our train of thought. They're coming in to say, "Hey, how you doing, man?"
How you doing there, sir?
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, he broke up my thought with pickle jar.
Good to see you. But the story building
Yes.
the personalities and building your connections with your players and all of that.
Absolutely, yeah. Because that's what I'm saying. It goes from being just a series of quests to like being an adventure then, because it actually
Yep.
is a story. Because I mean, like think about like because D&D is based on the Lord of the Rings. Like you think about Lord of the Rings, and it's like. Yeah, there's fights in Lord of the Rings, but like a lot of the Lord of the Rings and a lot of the stuff that people remember are the interpersonal moments between the characters, more
Yep.
so than the fight that they had. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's stuff like the Balrog. People think about that kind of stuff. That the giant spider. Shelob or whatever it is. Yeah, people remember that kind of stuff. But those are like big moments. Like you don't remember like, hey, how many orcs did they fight at this specific battle? I mean, unless they were calling out their kills,
47.
Yeah. And then you remember that moment because they were calling out their kills, not what they were fighting.
Exactly. But and even therein lies and that's a great point. Because there's a huge focus in the Lord of the Rings movies on the cinematic feel for each of those moments, the shield sledding down the hill and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now we kind of snicker at the silliness, but we still remember all the cool moments and story and the emotion of it.
Well,
and we kind of joke about the silly combat aspects that we thought were cool in the moment.
Right. And I was going to say, you can't tell me there's not a player in the world that wouldn't take that moment to slide down a fucking set of stairs on his shield while shooting a bow at people. Like, that's a cool
And we're going to have it.
Yeah.
Saf is kicking in a comment real quick. Second player made their character, Null Gunslinger, that was adopted as a baby by monster hunting guild member. Lots of conflict and discrimination themes. He got his first gun as a 6th birthday. Truly an American citizen, 'cause America.
Wild.
As long as it had to be a 45, man. Otherwise, they ain't American. Don't be giving them no little sissy ass 9mm Parabellum. I'm kidding, guys. Let's not go into that discussion. D&D today. That's funny though. That's cool.
I don't know enough about guns to have that conversation, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're not going down that rabbit hole, but that's funny. I like that character theme. Null Gunslinger. That's kind of fucking cool. Hyena.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Shit, yeah. But anyway, we kind of leaning back in. Let's surface back up out of the role play and the story stuff to your mechanic stuff. I do want to emphasize that you're find yourself some source of tables as a dungeon master. Whether you're building your own or you know how to hyperlink pull up out of D&D Beyond, or you want to go buy some third-party DM screens and references type of things, this is where you start getting a little bit more organized so you can keep the game flow going. because the moments like this that are happening that Josh is talking about, as far as the engagement in the moment, you don't want to be the delay of a 5-minute lookup to try to find something.
Here's
Try to
my
have your stuff to. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say here's my poor ass with a thing that I would do for a while is monsters in the monster manual, because I don't have every stat block for a monster memorized in my head. I would literally take sticky notes and I would write like a letter or something that would let me know what that monster was, so that the players couldn't tell what it was, and then I would put a sticky note on that page so I could flip to it whenever combat would start. 100%.
Yeah, right.
100%.
Yeah, we know you love breaking the flow up, Saf. It's okay. We still love you. He says, speaking of flow, what do you think of me breaking the flow just for my individual pleasure?
Oh, for a second, I thought you were going to talk about from Progressive. I was like, she's kind of cute.
I know, man. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. That's funny. But me, I used index cards. Prior to D&D Beyond, even having all the books on the shelf, I was an index card guy. Write down orc, and then I'd write an orc archer, orc berserker, orc heavy, orc lancer, orc. So I'd have like 12 index cards that had all of the stats that I need for all the different orcs, different ACs, depending on if they're, just a little alligator clip, stealing office supplies like a motherfucker.
Fair.
Fair. Binder clip in a stack of. And that was my orc pile, that was my goblinoid pile, that was my dragon pile, and I actually used the bigger, what was the 5x9s for the dragons, and the spells would be on the back and all that. But yeah, prior to D&D Beyond, I was an index card guy. But yeah, whatever your system is, your number, the amount of monsters and monster types that you have available at level 5 has exponentially increased.
Yeah.
Your players are going to expect to see a little bit more. Your technique and knowledge has got to improve a little bit more. I'm not sure how many of you guys do my daytime stream. I spend a lot of time talking about tactics.
I was going to say
this is where tactics matter.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Where it goes from I'm just going to throw a horde of goblins at you to no, you're fighting kobolds in a cave and they are going to collapse a bridge behind them, or they're going to run you across a bridge that only their weight can support, kind of stuff. Where they're using tactics and holes to throw shit down at you from inside of their caves and stuff. And it's like, it's not just like, yeah, they're standing there, now you're going to fight them anymore,
Up till this point, as a beginner DM, you were using the monster stat block. As an intermediate, you need to start understanding. I mean, I always make the silly joke of the goblin nimbleness dodge dash as a bonus action.
Yes.
If you're using that the way you should use it at level 1, your party's screwed. Now you can still use goblins for level 5 play and use all those cool little tricks that you've been holding back on, and start putting them into full play and be a challenge. Just as much as I'm saying that, this may sound countermand to what I just said, even though the volume of monsters you have access to increase, the flexibility of the ones that you were using also starts increasing. One ghoul shouldn't be an encounter anymore. 6 of them should.
Maybe a banshee shows up. Get wild.
Yeah, right. Combined arms. Start looking at combined armed forces, and start paying attention to environmental factors, verticality in your battlefields, making sure to break up line of sight. As much as I love big maps, I make sure I don't give no fool 100-foot line of sight unless they put the work in to get it.
Yes.
But conversely, tactically, player got fireball now. Give them the opportunity to use it once in a while.
Yeah.
Put them fools in that line. Let that sucker go, man. Put that one scout up there that's up on the hill that's just raining hell on there that the rogue can climb up the backside of it and do it. You make sure that now that they're getting the cool abilities, to give them the moments to do that. Don't sabotage. Oh, I'm going to Misty Step. No, you can't. Why? Because fuck you. No. The players get new tools too.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that not only you're aware of their tools, you're giving them opportunities to shine and use those tools. No point in using a fireball if all of a sudden the same goblin horde that ran at them in a blob formation at level 3 suddenly goes into a spread flank formation at level 5. Okay? Give them the shot.
You've said it multiple times where it's like sometimes being a DM is losing gracefully.
All the time. Yeah. All the time. It's all. If for 5th edition collaborative story building, in my opinion, We're always here to lose gracefully. We're here to give a realistic feeling, satisfying encounter that tests our character's abilities, knowing as a DM that I need them to get past this so we can get to the next thing. The ultimate goal of every campaign is to hopefully finish the campaign, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I design my campaigns. If bad luck happens or if the players are stupid, I can't protect them from their own stupid. But I'm not setting out to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Now the higher level we get, because my plethora of monsters increases, I don't have control over what happens when I drop 10d10 damage. And if I drop a 96, that's what I'm talking about. They now have the hit points and the tools to deal with that. So I'm not going to take that 96 and go, yeah, you took 43. That was a real bad roll. Lucky you,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's a 90.
Yeah, definitely. Especially to that barbarian.
Where you headed, Dave?
Because that barbarian's only
okay.
taking the 43 now.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, mid-level play, it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game, and I think this is the techniques and the knowledge that you'd establish now are really going to determine if and how you handle high-level play.
Yeah. And yeah, and that being said, is like there's still always room to grow. Like just how you went from being an intermediate or a beginner DM to an intermediate DM, and you took all the mistakes that you learned through your first time through. You can keep learning from those mistakes and keep improving. You can always get better at this kind of stuff. There's no peak at it.
No. Hell no.
Never feel like you have to stop just because you're like, oh, it's satisfying enough. If you want to improve something, if you feel like there's some need to, go ahead, do it.
Well, yeah, and certainly at this point, if you're an intermediate DM, again, the assumption is you've met your characters. You guys have been playing long enough for everyone, at least level 5, level 6, loving the game, wanting to finish the campaign. Yeehaw! Or you played through Lost Mines your first time with your first group, and now you're starting out in Dragon Heist, and now you're about to go into Dungeon of the Mad Mage. You're getting in, whether it's level or experience wise. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So don't think of it as how do I level up as a DM. It's how many instances of play have you had to where you feel like you know way more now than you did then, and where you're able to start building on it.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion, that's where you're at intermediate. But each person gonna feel we're different. We were kind of joking, but not joking about our Greyhawk group a little bit earlier. These dudes are level 8. Skill wise, I still don't think they're intermediate.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you actually played for real, our party would get destroyed real fast.
They've got 8 levels of experience. They got lots of cool toys. They got lots of cool tools. But yeah, I am hesitant to play hard with them still, because I know, we're going to end up re-rolling new characters, or just ending the campaign. A lot of people like, well, if you don't give them this is kind of the paradigm that Josh and I were talking about before we went into the stream.
Yeah.
So the expectation is our players have more synergy now. They have more knowledge of their characters. So now I'm going to start playing lethally. So now I kill them off and they don't bring them back. And they're bringing a new character in and having to start from scratch at level 5 to get caught up with everybody else because I'm wiping them out like dirt. Then you almost end up breaking your own hope and paradigm. You don't give them the chance to necessarily get any synergy if you're wiping the floor with them every chance because the dice said to do it. So this is the balance that you got to find for your own campaigns, man.
I agree. I'm ready for you to kick it up, especially now that we have a cleric. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. Well, you're in. I guess for me, all bets are off because you're up in Aya's turf. The simple fact that, it's kind of like you cross the wrong side of the railroad tracks, homie. What you doing here? And if you go in that kind of a neighborhood and show your ass, you might take 1, you might take 2, but you ain't take 50.
Oh yeah, nah.
So that's kind of and it doesn't matter what side of the tracks you guys live on. You know that to be true, whichever side of the track you live on and whichever side you cross to. It is what it is. So that's the kind of thing. You're in hostile territory now, son. Yeah. You're behind enemy lines. So lethality is part of the game for us.
Yeah.
So hopefully the simple knowledge that there is no backup, there's no one coming for you, no one's going to find your bodies to resurrect you, will reinforce some cautious and strategic play that has been missing up to this point.
Yeah.
We'll see.
and I'm hoping so. That's really what
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
hoping
see.
for.
Yeah. But at the same time, we've had third level groups that are like, holy crap, this is a machine. Hell, the Planescape group.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got people that really haven't ever played before prior to that campaign in a very alien, unique environment that are damn machines in combat.
absolutely.
I mean, this is I guess you guys are what, 5?
Yeah,
Just hit 5?
yeah. I
I
believe
have,
so.
according to D&D Beyond, I have yet to not put a deadly encounter in front of them, according to the encounter builder. Every fight they've gone into has been deadly plus. Like, we'll
There's
see what happens. If I got to have a couple retreat, they can retreat. But every encounter they've just decimated.
yeah.
They play smart. They play well. They play tight. They don't go running off every fucking direction. And it's scary to watch how well that group plays together. So even though we got one brand new player, one inexperienced player, yeah,
Here's the wild thing is that we have a player whose character doesn't kill.
yeah, that's true. Addie will not do lethal damage. She
Yep.
will not do anything to kill an enemy. She does, and she plays it well, and it complements the group.
Yep.
It's insane.
100%.
So I mean, yeah. So it's not necessarily about what is the level of your character, level 1 to 20. Sometimes it's about what is the ability level of the players as a group and as individuals.
Yeah. You guys
So what
can see
happens
more of
if
that
you
tonight,
have
I
a
guess.
group where, I'm sorry?
I said you guys can come see more of that tonight, I guess.
Oh
Hopefully we
yeah,
don't get into a fight tonight because this would be a losing fight.
depends on the fight. We'll see.
Yeah, fair.
But you know, the situation though, I guess, where was I about to go with that? I got a little bit sidetracked there.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Level, I think level versus skill versus level versus skill.
Yeah.
It's and the thing to remember is the concepts of what we're talking about, the things to consider are valid, but where you are and how you're judging that for your play group, only you know that, man. Or woman. Only y'all know that out there where your play groups are on that scale. Now, what happens when you've got that group where you've got 5 players and 2 of them are just way off the charts, and 2 of them are like, learning them, and one of them's here just because they having fun playing D&D. They're not invested in the game. They're invested in the game as far as I get to hang out with my friends, and this is a really cool social event. But I really don't know what my character does because I really don't care. I'm more into hanging out with you guys than I am to play. How do you handle that kind of a group, do you think? Because that's most groups.
So I first of all I would say people who are like way higher level play, like I think you should always be willing to help people who are lower level. Like just always don't get upset with them because they don't know how to play the game immediately. Like be willing to work with them so they can learn it. Otherwise they're not going to continue to play. Like if you're just being super gatekeeping, it's like, oh, man, come on, just do your turn, man. Like that's going to turn them off of playing the game. But if you're patient with them and don't be overbearing either. Don't go, this is how you play your character. Let them learn at their own pace. If they do something and you go, hey, like, because I do this with Katie because I played her class where like from time to time I'll go, hey, we're done with combat. This is a thing that you could have done if you didn't know that you could do that, kind of stuff. Like I'll do that from time to time with her. And most of the time she'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool. I didn't know I could do that kind of stuff. But like yeah, but don't be like overbearing with it. Like during combat, be like, no, do this, then this, and this, and that's how you win with this character. Like let them learn their
Now,
stuff.
now, let me tell you, as a DM, the challenge in those encounters is the curve from what I've seen continues to expand because your better players start taking over more and more and more of combat, and your less skilled players kind of start taking. I guess I'll just shoot my firebolt. I guess I'll just shoot my arrow. And the other dude's like, I'm going to spend 10 feet of movement here, and I'm going to use my first attack to hit him with a trip attack. And then because of my mobility feature, I'm going to move 10 feet over here, and I'm going to hit him with the shove attack. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to use my action surge and put 2 arrows in that guy over there. And homies took down half the battlefield at level 6 legally.
I mean,
While your inferior player's like, I was going to shoot that guy, but then you killed him, and then I was going to shoot that guy.
I
So
I'm of two minds on this. I'm of two minds on this. One, I think that it's the responsibility of all players, regardless of of your level, to let other players have cool moments and to do things themselves, to not just monopolize the game. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you always should do it, right? Um, but my second thing is that you can also demonstrate like this is how you like would play a character like this, basically. Like that is also an option where you could be like at a higher level you can learn how to do this kind of stuff. Like this is stuff you should be thinking about while you're a lower level character or low level player. Like, hey, now I know that I can do this and that going forward. And like because like for instance, right, like when you first start playing D&D, you don't think about the fact that I can move 10 feet, attack somebody. If they go down, I can move another 10 feet and attack that person. You just go, well, I moved and I attacked that guy and he's dead now, you
Mhm.
know. But now that you've seen that player go zip zop zoobity bop around the battlefield, you go, oh wait, shit, I can split my attacks up, you know.
Mhm.
So so I'm of two minds of it. Like one where I don't think that you should be that guy who's like monopolizing the combat. You should let the other people play stuff, but also that sometimes you should be able to show out like this is how you do this thing,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah,
No, no, I appreciate it. Like I said, you spend a lot more time on that side of the table than I do.
yeah,
Uh, from this side of the table, it's a situation where you got to make sure that you're paying attention to the abilities of the character and the skill of that player to drive it to give them that moment.
that's
You
fair.
know, if you know your battle match, I mean, I always joke about it, kind of in a cruel, casual way, but I know how to bait whatever I want out of whoever I want at any moment of combat, however I want to.
Yeah.
And I'm not bragging, it's just I pay attention to their trends, I pay attention to them. I played with these people a long time. They know certain tells on me when his face does this, or when he clicks over there and he frowns, some bad shit's about to happen. It's part of playing with each
Or
other.
no, send the kid to do it.
Like,
Yeah.
but knowing how to bait that out of the battle rage instant mobility character, okay, great. Second wave comes in. Ah, shit. And now Mr. Knock Up and Run Everything has gotten surrounded,
Yeah.
and your other players have a moment to step up and shine. So yeah, understand what people can do and be prepared to drop an improv in there if they encounter, because I talk about it's like this, at this point as a DM, you need to be doing math, not just relying on the CR that's in the encounter, not just relying on the encounter that's in your book. You need to know how much damage your group can put out in a given round.
Yeah, like on an average, yeah.
And it's not hard to do. It really isn't that. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's math." It's not hard.
Especially not with like the systems that we have now, where you can literally look back and go, how much damage did they do, and just add it up. You know,
It's as simple as what was the total of hit points of my monsters? Five
just do
creatures
that.
at 100 hit points. That's 500 hit points. How many rounds did they last? 6 rounds. 500 divided by 6 is 9.93 and change. So each round, my party of 6 did 93 damage per round. Party of 6 divided by 93. Again, we're getting into fucked up math there, but point being, what are we at? 17 point. So the party averaged 17 damage, or I'm sorry, 27 damage per turn per round over the course of 6 rounds. If the creatures that I'm putting in front of them can't take that, someone's sitting out combat that turn.
No, that's fair.
It's really honestly that simple to start your combat encounters based on your player's stats. Not stats, based on their damage output.
Yeah.
That's where I start. Make sure everyone gets a turn to fight. Because we're playing a game. At the end of the day, we're still playing a game.
Yeah.
So
it might be
in
like,
order to make sure everyone... Sorry, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, so it might even just be like, well, now instead of 6 monsters or 7 monsters, it could be just something like that, where it's just like,
Exactly.
this
It's
is
just
an
that
easy,
simple.
yeah, this is an easy thing. I want them to be able to kill them in one round, just so they feel like badasses this time. And
Yep.
yeah, I
Yep.
have it exactly enough where they can kill them in one round. If something goes bad, they get 2, a big whoop.
Or put a second wave of little minion shits in there, and
Yeah.
your fighter's like, I'll take care of those. You guys handle the big guys. And fighter gets to go over there and solo out 6 peon orcs while your group's dealing with the 2 or 3 big guys that they need to be dealing. So yeah,
Yeah.
be ready to add an extra wave. But this, in my opinion as a DM, this is where you need to start tracking in whatever way you want, metrics to know what your group is capable of mathematically to prepare accurately. So you don't end up with that big ass monster that, oh fuck, okay, yeah, you killed it. What do you mean? You killed it. This is boring. You guys aren't gonna hurt it. My bad.
Yeah.
And let me do a little aside here. Be willing to tell your players when you fucked up on an encounter. It's okay. Okay, that way. Well, we suck. We did something wrong. No, yeah, guys, I did a bad job setting that encounter up. I should have staged it this way. It would have been a completely different fight. Because honestly, DMs, you're gonna fuck up some encounters.
Yeah.
So be willing to admit to your players that you make the mistake, not just, well, you should have this, you should have that. No, yeah, that was my bad.
It happens. I mean, sometimes you don't realize like, oh, this is going to do way more damage than I thought it was going to originally, or oh wait, like they're putting like as a group, my people are putting out way more damage than I expected them to, or anything.
Yep.
You know.
And sometimes it's just dumb luck. There have
Yeah.
been some times where it's like,
Just
guys,
bad
I'm sorry,
rolls.
I'm not sure what happened. It's like, yeah, that went about 4 rounds longer than it should have by the math because you guys had some bad rolls. And when you did hit, you hit for 3 instead of 8.
Look,
Shit happens. So sometimes that's going to happen.
I can't tell you over the course of several campaigns how many times we have had two people, like a monster and a person, just going back and forth, not hitting each other for like fucking 6+ rounds, where it's just like, do damage, just either side, just somebody do something.
We'd be singing Duel of Fates whenever that shit happens, like, oh, like, come on, Obi-Wan, finish it, shit.
It's just like mathematically, like this shouldn't have happened. Like one of you should have hit, just like by sheer probability.
Absolutely. But I still remember that fight in the sewer, man, where you guys, what Rudy and that one skeleton were. It is just a skeleton, y'all. And they're in a duel to the death. It's like, you gave him the high ground. Why'd you give the skeleton the high ground?
Could be.
Oh, shit, that
Skeletons
was
don't even
bad.
have like they have what, like an 11 AC or something. Like
Yeah, 11 or 12, depending on how many
Yeah.
scraps of armor you put on them.
yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
mathematically he should have hit. He was a paladin. Like mathematically he should have hit.
You know, which kind of brings me to the second kind of thingy here. Okay. Well, not the second, a good thingy. This is where you can start tweaking your stat blocks a little bit and feel fair
Yes.
about it as a ZM. This is where you upgrade the orcs from hide armor to ringmail armor. Where you bring in those are our scouts. We're the real orcs, and now the orcs are veteran stat. But
Bloody
remember,
orcs.
if the players can run it, you can run it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if they got an 11th level orc wizard, why don't you have an orc warlock or an orc archmage as part of background?
Yeah.
Don't feel obligated because it says orc and this says warlock. Put them together. Add some teeth to your other enemies without even going crazy homebrew. Sometimes you just add the species to the front of one of your stat blocks and boom, you got a new monster. What do you mean orcs got fucking arch clerics? Oh shit, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Well, humans got them. Why can't you have them? Start playing into that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes these monsters just exist as well. Like you just might not have been using them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Spend some time. Don't be afraid to read. Don't be afraid to read, guys. Please. Or listen to my podcasts over on YouTube where I talk about monsters.
Absolutely.
Shameless plugs. But yeah, all joking aside, whatever sources you need. If I know a lot of people like, I don't have time to read. I don't have patience to read. Whatever your preferred method of intake. This is where, as a dungeon master, you need to start increasing your intake. You need to start increasing, the intake of information. Give yourself more tools to play with.
Look, honestly, if you feel free to pose questions to us as well. Like I guarantee that like one or both of us knows some kind of answer to basically anything that somebody could ask.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you guys are on my lunch day stream, if I don't know it, I'll look it up. And if I can't look it up, I'll say I don't know it and I can't look it up.
Jim,
Or this we'll spend some time to dig it out.
Jim has a ridiculous amount of knowledge, like ridiculous for like old school D&D stuff. Like and like it's one of those like almost like savant level, like just like all of this shit just jammed into your head. Like it's wild.
Oh shit. Training for it all my life as a super geek, man. But yeah, man. I mean, this is when the game, in my opinion, is the fun is the most fun. This is when the intermediate game is where your players have the most the most options in front of them.
Yeah.
Because by the time they get 10 or 12, even though they got more shit, they've got their favorite weapon, they've got their favorite attack combo, they've built the last 2 feats to support this. I would dare say high level play is more about One Punch Man play than any other fucking level.
Yeah.
Because you've tuned your character to do that. I spent 16 levels to be able to do this. Cool. And then, so that's what you got to expect at high level. Mid-level seems a lot more versatile, a lot more improvisational. It forces a lot more problem solving and role play for our players because they have a few more tools to use in that problem solving department.
Yeah.
So I love mid-level play, man. This is my mid-tier play. You know, I mean, I guess I'm a high-level DM, but mid-tier play is my preferred area to play in.
And I guess you're right, because this is really where you start to get like the bulk of like what you can do as a character. Because like at 5th level is where you get like, oh, I can finally multi-attack, kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Where it's like, okay, well, this is how my character's going to play for the rest of how my character plays. Basically, I might get one more attack way further down the road for being a fighter, but like,
This is me,
Yeah.
or as a wizard from 5th level. Yeah, oh, I got level 3, and at 8th level I get my level 4.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to have 2 level 3s at 7th level. So it's big, but it's not so big that that's their defining moment. There's not abandoning their play style up to this point because they have new stuff. They're adding to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of sounds dumb, but the whole Bruce Lee martial arts concept. You're building up all of this shit to get to this point and cut everything away just to be pure at what you are. That's your high level play.
Yeah.
So,
And let's be honest, like the game itself is even kind of built that way, because that's where you start getting like additions to the abilities that you already have. Where it might be like, oh, my aura just is larger now instead of yeah, it's stuff like that. It's not really like fundamentally changing how you play. Yeah.
Yeah. So this mid level is where you're defining. The mid tier of play is where your players are really kind of growing up. Where this is the teenage to young adult years.
Yeah.
This is where you're finding what you're good at, what you're bad at, what you like, what you don't like, and really focusing on your passion there. And then when you get level 15, level 12, level 14, you're a jobber. You're just going 9 to 5, punching the booth. I swing, trick, attack with Black Razor. Oh, and I also do this. Oh, I also do this. Okay, next monster. So, level 14 up is punching the clock. This is having fun.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way to look at it. Sorry, some person with a really long name just went online.
Oh, damn. But, yeah.
Anyway.
But, I mean, go ahead.
No,
we got about 15 minutes left, guys. This has been a fun chat.
Oh, yeah. But no, yeah. I guess you've got a point there, because it is really where a lot of your fun stuff happens, honestly. Because again, most people don't play to high level anyway, so this is where like most people's adventures end. Is in this area, and this is where you make most of your memories for your campaign, because you're finally strong enough to start impacting the world around you.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where all the little dangling threads start forming the tapestry of the mystery of the adventure. This is where the world that you've been building starts mattering to the players, and they start mattering to the world. This is the next step. We know how to play D&D. Now we're playing D&D.
Yes.
As a dungeon master, so both ways, players and dungeon masters. This is mid-tier / mid-level play. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about actually playing it. We're not learning it anymore.
Yeah. So now, on our beginner level stuff, I was like, D&D is just a game. This is when D&D just consumes your life. Is at this point in time where it's just like, oh, there's all this cool stuff that I know how to do now with like characters, or oh, I know how to do all this stuff as a DM now. I'm gonna be building this other world while I'm playing this world.
Right.
This is where it starts to consume you.
And just as a little aside, guys, DMs, if you're running multiple campaigns, it's okay to reuse content.
Oh,
Don't
100%. You dropped this
don't feel
the exact same map on us, and I don't think any of us even realized.
well, there's generic forest map is a generic forest map. You ain't got to make a brand new map or buy a brand new map every time
Yeah,
you need a forest encounter. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, an inn can be an inn can be an inn. But more important than that, I'm talking like if you've got 3 or 4 campaigns, it's okay to run 2 of the same campaign. So you don't have to make original kind of shit for all of them, you know?
that's fair.
Um,
And now you can improve on that second one with the shit that you fucked up on that first one.
both ways, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Absolutely. You know, stuff that, you didn't want that you were wanting to play, but your players didn't bite that hook. You put a bigger chunk of cheese on this version of it, so they bite that hook.
And now they go
It's
and deal
fun
with the
though. But yeah,
lizards first instead of going way off the beaten path.
it's all go at. Yeah, they probably would have been easier to deal with at level 3, 4 than they were at 8, 9.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But hithers and tithers and yawns, man. But that, I mean, let's close that on that. That's interesting. If you running your world, are you running a Elder Scrolls Online Elder Scrolls Online style world, or an EverQuest style world as a DM? Now, what I mean by that is where no matter how big your characters get, the threats around them continue growing with them. Scalable levels. We love scaling levels in our video games. Are you bringing that to the table there? And at that point, do your characters feel like they're ever gaining progress?
So
Or are you running the living world where there's still goblins, there's still little shit, and if you went over that mountain where you're level 1, you got ate by the giants, but those mountains still sitting there for your people at level 8 to go kick ass on.
yeah.
That's where this kind, when your mid-level plays, where that kind of world building is going to start showing up.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
basically, like to put it in like shorter terms, is does the world scale to your players, or do your players scale to your world? Is what you're wanting to do
That's
at
the
the
same.
same time.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying. Just simpler terms.
I don't
Does the
understand the
world scale
difference.
to your players, as in like the world scales to what they are, or do your players have to scale up to what your world is?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, same concept, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
same idea.
Yeah.
Like, if you're building a world and building a world, is it noob zone, then more dangerous zone, then more dangerous zone, or is it the world is what it is, and if they take us out a left instead of a right, they get ate by the bad monster in the cave because there's no noob zone, middle zone, high zone.
I think it's better to run it like that, where it's like the world is the
Absolutely.
way that it is.
Yeah.
You can
You
rock
know,
up on a place that's way too dangerous for you when you're level 1, or you can rock up to a place that's way too easy for you at level 15. you know?
No, I absolutely. So that's kind of one of the design things and considerations to keep at mid-level. Those kind of distinctions in the difficulty of encounters are going to be more obvious. If you've been balancing your encounters a little light, you haven't been running your metrics, you haven't been running your stats. Odds are the first time you set up for level 5, this is their first fight. I want to let them really have some stuff. You're either going to go super fucking light, and they're going to blow through it, and you're going to panic, and the next fight will be overwhelming, or you're going to go super freaking heavy and have to like massage the dice quite a bit not to eliminate them because you thought they would have used haste on the fighter, or you thought they would have done this with this ability, or you thought that you follow what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to plan around that, but sometimes you can go entirely too far into trying to predict every move that your players are going to do.
Yeah.
And prepare your encounter according to what they're going to do instead of their averages, and then you end up in some bad problems.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah.
But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I fully agree that players should have to scale up to the world instead of, yeah, I fully agree that it should be a real living world, and everything should change at the drop of a hat if you go the wrong way,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to in the place that we're going to, because I know, like, within Greyhawk, because I know this is like a more dangerous place, and it's like within this area, if we do the wrong thing, that could end us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shit, figuring out what the right or wrong thing is going to be interesting to do,
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be
I'm
very
going to put you
interesting.
guys in a couple pickles. We'll put you guys a couple moral
I was
pickles.
about to say, I'm very interested to see how people's morality sways in this area. I'm very interested.
Yeah. When in Rome, in the case of Rome being Aya's land.
Nah, there's certain things that I know that my character wouldn't do. You know, like this is one of
Yeah.
those was one of those times where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna just, regardless of where the hell we are, I'm not wantonly murdering people. Like, just I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not getting into slavery at all. Like, no, my character would never be into that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain stuff that's like regardless of where we are, I'm not getting into it. Regardless of where we end up on the morality scale, there's certain lines that I
Yeah.
got some kind of morality within me.
Well, I let me bounce. This is going to be dumb, super spoileristic heavy.
Okay.
But I need to get a little I need to get a little bit of feedback before I put it in there to make sure it doesn't become like a super divisive thing that's impossible to manage.
Okay.
Okay. So we know that Yiliak left her home 140 years ago as a teenager while
Yes.
under the training of a very, very now powerful and famous lich. Okay.
Yeah.
She was given the curse slash whatever of what she has, and then she left home because of reasons. You guys have no idea, have
Yeah.
never asked anything about her family, no nothing. You're going back to her ancestral home that has been a ruined wreck right next to White Plume Mountain, right?
Yeah.
So what you're going to find out is there shortly, about 70 years ago, before you guys, 70 years ago, 500-ish CY, Lord Rayneld, the Rayneld family and the Delavin family discovered that the Muckos family was treating with infernal beings. Lines up with what we know about Yiliak and her mentor, right?
Yeah.
So said Rayneld and Delavin led a bunch of the other Shieldlanders into razing the castle and killing everyone that was there in the name of the shield. Now, Rayneld and Delavin have offspring that are currently in Ringland protecting all of those civilians. Remember me telling you about the hidden pocket of civilians?
Yeah.
So, how is that going to play out with our temperamental 19-year-old teenage necromancer who's being like buddy chum with all of the Aya's forces around her versus what you guys might want to do? That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, maybe putting you guys in. Hey, bud, how you
Ooh.
doing? You all right? Okay, cool.
Well,
That's deep, huh? You got to think about it, don't you?
Well, because I'm thinking it could also work in our advantage.
One second.
Oh no. 1 second, everybody.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, because I was gonna say it could actually work in our advantage though. Like, if we have an in through her, it could help us and like get a foothold in this area. But it really depends on what's going down. Like, it really does.
So I guess what I see, my concern is, again, this is spoiler heavy.
I don't want her to become a lich.
Well, do you just let those people rot?
What, the civilians?
Yeah.
No.
Are you going to be driven, potentially anyone in the party be driven to help these people that it's just a matter of time until they get discovered?
Yeah.
And how are you going to try to do that?
I mean, we'd have to figure out how to find them in some way. Oof.
Well, point being, when that happens, it's going to be obvious.
Yeah.
My concern is, I know your immediate reaction is going to be, well, let's just bring them back to the keep and hide them there while we figure something else out. You think for the briefest moment of time, Yiliak, after finding out that Delavin and Rayneld killed her family, hung them in the basement, and burned the keep down, isn't going to do anything other than raise an undead army to destroy both Delavin and Rayneld?
I mean, yeah. Well, see, my thing is
that's what I'm talking about, morals.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wasn't even thinking about taking them to the keep. I was trying to figure out how the fuck do we transport them through this area without them being seen. Is what I was more worried about. Because like a large group of people traveling together is going to be a problem. So
see what I honestly saw happening until I realized what I did. And if you're still watching, guys, this is a DM backing themselves into their own corner. Okay, because I had set it up like that prior to knowing that a bunch of goody goodies were going to go over here. My headcanon was they were going to use this as an opportunity to represent bad guys and go enslave this population to rebuild their keep in the name of Ayaz's resurgence and provide refuge for all of these guys under the guise of them being slaves while they figured out something else. That's the plan in my brain. That, like I said, I never assume I'm the smartest person at the table.
It's a good plan.
I always plan for the highest level possible plan in my planning, and everything else is a contingency from there, and it's easy.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been planning around. How do we manage that? And then I realized Yiliak ain't gonna let that shit into her keep. Fuck, what did I do?
I mean, it's a good
So
plan,
this is-
though.
But yeah, this is an example of a DM writing themselves into a fucking corner, trying to predict what players will do based on what they've done before, and not realizing that, oops, I fucked myself.
Oh no! See, I would try to get them out of the country. I wouldn't even try to like think about like keeping them there. I'd be like, how do we get you out of here? Like, how do we get you down to like
Well-
Greyhawk Way or something?
And when you start talking to these people that have been trapped here for 20 or 30 years, you're going to find that, don't you think we haven't tried that?
Yeah, that's
There used to be 1,500 people that lived here.
and that's my thing is like I don't know how the hell that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'd be more
yeah.
worried about transporting them through the place than them staying with us in like her keep. I would not be even thinking about that. I'd be like, how the fuck do we transport this many people without something horrible happening? Because even if we
And
get
I-
to,
and
even if
I
we
had
get to the edge, I guarantee there's some kind of guard, some kind of something that would catch us, and they're going to be like, well, "Why are all these
Yeah.
people crossing over?" You know?
Well, and yeah, and that's why in my brain it was like it's logical that they would try to be. But again, this is me thinking ahead on stuff that you may not quite know or been exposed to yet. I'm assuming that you're going to the group is going to at least maintain the veneer of, yeah, we're here with this evil chick that you guys really like. She's the boss, whatever, and kind of keeping a lower profile. Which, if you were doing that, it would be perfectly within the illusion of, yeah, she's rebuilding her castle. She's dealing with that fucking traitor scum that jacked her family over, and she took all their people over as slaves. You know.
Well,
But that's where my brain goes in that kind of a thing.
I mean, I guess we'll see. Because like I'm sure that by the time
Yeah.
we get to this moment, we'll have more information about what's going on, and we'll,
Yeah, totally.
you know, we'll start to establish more of a foothold in the place. Because by the time we know where the hell these people are, we're going to be in it. We're going to be in the shit.
Well, we'll see. We'll see next Tuesday, man. You guys are about to land on the slopes of White Plume Mountain and make your way to the ruined Castle Muckhouse and the dangers of the Shieldlands beyond.
Yeah.
But tonight we have a rave in a cave.
Yes.
So I think it is about finish up time for us on the stream.
Yeah. We can end it here.
What time did we? Oh, I know you're a clock watcher on that. Do we need to go?
It's all good. Yeah, because it's 6:30. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I was about to say it's up to you. I can go a little bit longer.
I mean,
We can go to 6 if you want, man. I just need to grab a quick cup of coffee if you want to keep it at 2 hours.
I know it's fine.
We don't play till 8.
I know, yeah, but we can end it here because I know that Sam's gonna want to spend some time with me for a little bit, and I gotta get food and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, thanks so much for joining. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Intermediate level play is some thick, nasty stuff from all kinds of level. Not nasty, fun. Some voluminous, entertaining stuff. That's way better than saying thick and nasty, ain't it? Unless you're into thick and nasty, then you're gonna love intermediate play, yo.
I mean, yeah. Fair enough.
But all joke, yeah, all bad jokes aside, man. This is when you're really playing D&D.
Yeah.
Good and bad, because this is when you're gonna have the most of the. So if I do this and this, does this happen? Type things.
Yes.
Which are good and bad. You know.
Yeah. And sometimes that results in you trying to figure out the aerodynamics of a cow, and sometimes that results in you just going, no, it wouldn't work. You know.
This is the terrible twos for the DMs as well. No. But don't say no out of a panic, guys. Say no and at least be willing to give you. If you're saying no because I'm the DM, fuck off. You just drove a wedge between the trust and the confidence between you and the players of you being a fair educator. If you're saying no because I'm really not prepared for that right now, can we circle back to it next time? Everyone knows we're playing a game. You're being honest with them. You're reinforcing the faith that you're trying to be a fair educator of the rules. It's okay to say no because I'm not prepared for that. It really is. I promise you guys. I promise you that. That's one of the the big bugaboos for DMs. It's like, I don't want them to know that I'm not prepared. Yeah, it's okay, man. You know, the
Yeah.
players are going to work with you 9 times out of 10.
That's fair. That's fair.
They'd rather enjoy the experience with it researched and established, I think, in my opinion, than have you kind of half-ass it and screw it up and bumble it and make some bad calls because you weren't really prepared for what they were talking about or thinking about.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's okay to call a break. Hey, okay, before we start this combat, y'all go grab a drink. I'm gonna grab a smoke, do a quick rule lookup, so we're clear to go. It's
Yeah.
okay to do that kind of stuff at this level because now everything's starting to come together into bigger things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Tons of people do that where DMs are like, okay, wait, hold on. We're gonna pause here. We're gonna take a break real fast. I'm gonna go figure that out. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, and you know, and like up at RPG Dungeons, I do that a lot beforehand. It's like, okay, here's the situation, here's the map. This is what you guys see. I'm gonna step outside, smoke a cigarette, let you guys talk tactics before initiative starts. Once initiative starts, it starts, guys. Okay, cool. So I let them have a few minutes to look at the situation, even though that's out of realism, because we're establishing communication, rapport, and trust. However you want to do it, you need to expect a little bit higher level of communication and crosstalk at your tables. So, you know, plan for moments to do that before combat ensues. As much as you've learned up to this point, now it's to application time. And now all of the shit that you've ever heard about why session 0 is important is going to be in your face.
Yeah.
You look like you're about to say something.
No. Sorry, I was thinking about because I've been debating on the session 0 for this new group. I was thinking about doing it next Wednesday, just to like get everybody together and talk the week beforehand.
Yeah,
Because I was like,
You
I
know,
can't really do it on Thursday because we play D&D on Thursday. So like, yeah.
yeah. You know, and like yeah, so intermediate plays where it gets fun, man.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess we're gonna be off for a little bit here, and we'll be back
Yes.
tonight in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
No,
Wait.
yeah, hour and a half. No,
Two,
eight
2.5
tonight.
hours?
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's almost 6. So yeah, 2.5 hours. We'll be back doing then some sigil for a couple hours, getting that campaign back on track. Actually, shit, Planescape Pure now. We hadn't been in sigil, but for a fucking long time, have we?
No, not for a while.
They're incarcerated. They've been incarcerated in our incarceri for a few
We've had
sessions.
3 characters come in and out of play in that amount of time.
I know, man. Yep. That starts showing us how typical our campaigns are of the rest of the world, man. You know, for a while we had some good consistent, but you know, scheduling and life be what it is,
Yeah.
man. The greatest BBEG in D&D history.
Yeah.
Life.
Scheduling.
But hey, thanks for joining us. Had a
Absolutely.
good time. We're moving
no problem.
our chats to Fridays permanently moving forward, I believe.
Yeah.
Barring holidays and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
we'll be
absolutely.
here, and go ahead, do your out, and I'll do my out, man.
It's a good thing Christmas is on a Monday because otherwise I probably would stream.
Oh, I'm gonna stream on Monday. There are too many people getting Christmas books for me not to talk about all the Christmas books on Christmas Day.
That's fair.
I'm kidding.
No, that's fair. Yeah, because it's like I'm an adult. Sam and I are by ourselves. I don't got no damn kids. Who cares what I do on Christmas? Here's your shit. Leave me alone. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
See, this is where you see the chancla come flying across the screen and smack him in the side of the head. And I got to learn how to do a short so I can put the hit him, Sam, hit him. I need short material.
She's got the chair. Oh my god.
Good time. But yeah.
On my side, I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts. I'm basically done with Terrors. I'm literally on the last boss. I just gotta level up because I keep dying real hardcore. But yeah, about to end Terrors thing. I'm gonna do a secret weekend stream on that so I can level up and finish it. Probably Sunday because yeah. Anyway, doing that right now. Again, Fridays with Jim. Tuesdays every other Thursday, and Friday we play D&D here. I will attempt to stream the one that I'm doing. I can probably get. I know I can at least do the first one because it's literally just 2 locations, and yeah. So it's not really like a big deal. I can just flip between 2 maps and keep that up. That's not a big deal. But it's gonna be a whole thing. If it becomes too cumbersome, I'll quit that, and it'll just be every other Thursday. But yeah, don't judge me. I'm not Jim. This is me running the module for the first time ever. My thing is that like my math skills are not as good as yours. And that's when the one thing that bogs me down the most is like when we're in combat. I'm like, fuck, what is 32 minus 14? Hold on.
18.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't have that in my head like immediately.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so like that's the thing that like bogs me down the most. But yeah, anyway, we'll be back later on
But
tonight.
dude, I played with you. I played with you a few times. You're a good DM. You bring a different energy, a different vibe to the table.
Yeah,
So it's not always about, oh, I'm not Jim. That's good. Because I mean, how no one wants to play with me all the time, every fucking day. You're providing a good choice, a different
yeah.
environment feel. So, I mean, I appreciate the compliment. At the same time, I don't think anyone
Yeah.
expects you to be anyone but
Oh,
you, and you're good at being you, man.
I do have to say that I have taken a lot of stuff from you where it's like, oh, this is actually a really good idea. Oh, I hadn't thought about doing this before. Like, there's a lot of stuff that like you do through your campaigns where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a really good trick. I'm going to use that. Where stuff like that because like yeah, and that's actually a thing. Like 100% players, and even DMs, if you're playing in other campaigns and you go, oh shit, that's actually a cool idea to steal shit from people, steal shit from them, 100%.
I mean, a great demo on that was I was running my Beholder chat earlier, and I was talking about using mirrors in a Beholder maze, and I was like, "Oh, that's so genius! Oh my god!" It's like it wasn't mine. I pulled up the second edition book and showed him the diagram that,
Yeah,
the Eye Beholder book, the Eye Tyrant book,
yeah,
and showed him all the layouts for all the layers and plans. It's like, no, I would love to take credit for this. I wasn't that smart, but yeah. So using the stuff, that's all part of it, man. It comes down to information synthesis, taking the separate parts of information and turning them into something bigger and more importantly, something that's yours.
yeah.
And that's all it is as a DM. That's all it is as a player, man.
It's just like
You
stealing
know?
your friend's homework when you were in school. Just change it a little bit so they don't notice.
No, you ain't even got to change a little bit. You ain't got to change a fucking thing, dude. You want to call your bad guy Vecna, call your guy bad guy Vecna, and God
Yeah.
bless you for doing it.
I
You ain't
don't
got to
care if
change
he's a
shit.
barbarian orc.
I don't like the character, but I like the name.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fair enough.
So yeah, shameless plagiarism is the lifeblood of D&D, baby.
Oh yeah, I mean literally. Uh, yeah. We'll see you guys later on tonight though.
Yeah, but over on my side, thanks for joining as always. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, D&D chats. This is moving over to Friday. I keep saying, guys, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm on at night, you catch me on, jump on, be great to see you. If I'm not, don't expect me. I want to do a better job about streaming at night, but the way my schedule's been going, it's just so hard to try to be consistent about it.
Yeah.
So if I catch you guys in the afternoon, evening, hey, it's great to see you. But if not, try to catch me on my lunchtime streams. Love having that stuff. We get into some really cool, deep concepts. And it's a great community chat, man. There's a lot of times I'm spending more time reading the comments than I'm talking about myself, and I love it when that happens. Love it when that happens.
Hell
man.
yeah.
But you guys be safe out there. Thank you so much for joining me, whether it's been a few minutes or the whole time, video on demand or live. I appreciate you sharing your time with us.
Damn man, what an outro. I need to get on your level. That was good. Bye, chums.
Y'all be safe.